Okay, before anything else, are one of the Kardashians murdered?
No, wait, what?
What were you saying before the podcast?
Okay.
What did your phone tell you?
So one of the Kardashians. Hold on, let me get my mic.
We're so unprepared. He just dropped this on me.
One of the Kardashians. No, it's not one of them. It just said the Kardashians. I don't know enough about this guy. The business manager was just murdered. It's actually a girl. I said this guy. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna actually go ahead and read because I wasn't allowed to read it beforehand because we want to have a surprise reading.
The camera because I completely misframed it earlier.
So, Angela Kowalski, business manager whose clients include the Kardashians, died in suspected homicide. This is a Hollywood Reporter article, and it says her boyfriend has been arrested and charged with murder. This was... It just says her high-profile clients were the Kardashians. Like, it says clients, like she has multiple, but I don't see what other ones...
I'm gonna assume the Kardashians have multiple managers and everything else.
I'd have to assume that like each one has their own team working on themselves, but it says the Kardashians.
I
so
imagine
I assume
there's a long list of employment.
maybe she works for the show or she works for something like that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was her boyfriend. That's super sad. I honestly, when I first read the headline, I think that's what they meant to do was frame the headline so it would seem like it was like a conspiracy. But then it's very clear when you read the article that's not at all what it is.
I immediately made the joke. I was like, man, if only Kim's dad was still alive. He got OJ off. He could get anybody.
That's what I'm saying. I really thought that it was like some high-profile like conspiracy murder, but it's just like a sad like domestic case.
Did you see the last year the what's his name? Big rapper dude that got a sex tape with Kim Kardashian.
Oh, Ray J.
Is it that? No, which one did she marry? Like what? Who just divorced?
Kanye.
Kanye.
Oh yeah, Kanye didn't. Yeah.
Kanye last year fucking got a holograph projector like Star Trek or some shit of Kim's dad to wish her a happy birthday. Did you not see this?
Wait, what?
It was like I think it was like 2020 or something. It might have been 2019.
That is the most futuristic shit I've heard in my entire
here's where
life.
It's a little fucked up.
It sounds kind of fucked up.
Second though, is that the hologram just proceeded to say nice things about Kanye.
Like what?
It's like you've got
Kanye's like putting in the requests. Make it say happy birthday, and then make it say Kanye is the greatest. He's the best artist of all time.
You're
and started
not
like
far
just
off.
typing like
it was just
really.
Like, Kim, you've got such a good husband. Dude, be divorced a year later. You got such a good husband, so smart and talented.
That's awful.
It's atrociously
It's terrible. He could have been like, Kim, you've grown into such a beautiful young woman. I'm proud of the person you've become. Kanye, you married my fine daughter. I want to say how proud I am of that.
Dude, I can't express to you just how dystopian. That's some Black Mirror shit. We got coffee. I got special coffee for Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. I know this is coming out after New Year's.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. But,
happy belated both those things.
And yes, we said Merry Christmas. I love that people get so open arms about that on both sides of that.
If somebody says Happy Hanukkah to me, then I'm like, I still see that as a respectful thing. Like someone can wish me a holiday that I don't celebrate, and I'll still be happy.
I watched Rugrats growing up. You know, we all saw the Hanukkah episode.
Yeah.
They were Jewish, right? I'm not crazy.
You talking about Chucky? Or you talking about just the
Tommy's family?
Tommy's family?
Yeah, they're Jewish, aren't they? I'm either right or I'm really racist. Let's find out.
Is Pickle a Jewish name?
I don't think it has to do with the pickle theming.
Dill Pickle. I mean, if they were Jewish, they'd have to have a Jewish last name. Like it would have to.
No,
they wouldn't have
to.
They're
cartoon characters.
No, I'm just saying. Like you would assume it would be of
Jewish
origin if they're Jewish.
Judaism and Rugrats. Okay.
It's a case study. Judaism and Rugrats.
Wow, they had many Jewish holiday specials.
The pickles were Jewish, or was it?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I really feel like
now it's got to give me the history of Judaism.
I think it was Chucky and his dad. That's if I'm making a guess for someone on the show to be Jewish, it's Chucky and his dad.
I'm looking on this show, and there's just a picture of Tommy reading the Torah.
Like as an. I thought it was gonna be as a young man,
No.
like as his actual
He's a
bar
baby.
mitzvah. Or
I think they were just like telling everyone in Rugrats.
Bat
The
mitzvah.
creators were. Hold on.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, not saying that makes
Dee Dee
sense. For
comes
the
from
show,
a
just
Jewish family and is very proud of her heritage.
Dee Dee as the mom
The
of the
mom,
twins,
yes.
or the mom of
But
Tommy.
she and Stu, who is a Christian, follow both
Ah.
Judaism and Christianity with their sons Tommy and Dill.
They could celebrate
They-
Christmaka.
Chris-
Christmaka.
we learned something about the Rugrats
It's
today.
a Christmaka miracle.
All right.
Anyone who gets that reference, I love you.
Today's podcast, now we've tangented a bit.
Yeah.
I've got something very special planned today. Since this comes out, today's like what? December 29th?
Yes.
Checks his phone.
Oh, it
frantically.
doesn't say. Yes.
I think it's the 29th. Today's the 29th of December. New Year's is coming around, and this comes out like the first week of New Year's. Hold myself to that. But in January of 2021, well, I guess it would have been December of 2020, I made the New Year's resolution that in the year 2021, I would write down every movie and TV show I have watched this entire year.
All right.
And I have compiled a long list of everything that I have watched. And there's some caveats to this, and we're gonna go through them. I'm gonna talk about the ones I like, the ones I don't like. We'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple ways we could go about this. But basically, in 1 year, let's exclude, because I counted both movies and TV shows. Exclude TV shows for a minute. How many movies do you think I watched in 1 year? I'll give you, here's the thing, it's probably lower than you expected because I was very busy. There were essentially 2 month-long periods this year where I barely watched any movies. One during the summer, then one during like Thanksgiving.
So we have about 10 months of consistent movie watching,
Pretty much.
assuming that you could at least finish. I'm trying to make a good estimation. I'm going to say somewhere around 70 to 80.
You've nailed it. 88 movies.
Dang it. I was
That's
so close.
88 movies. Now, TV shows, on the other hand, it's a bit more of a time commitment
Yeah.
to do a TV show.
If you finish a TV show during multiple TV shows during this year, I'll be
I
impressed.
didn't. Here's how I did TV shows. I did not finish the TV shows.
Yeah.
I did it if it was the same time requirement that it would take to watch a movie, I put the TV show on the list.
Okay.
So if
So you
it
spent about
was
3 episodes or something like that.
3 episodes, if it's a 15-minute show, I think I generally like an hour and a half to 2 hours ish. That's how
Yeah.
I did this. For certain shows that's 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Other shows that's like 10.
Yeah.
So that varies a lot. How many TV shows did I make a sizable dent in this year?
I gotta say,
It is significantly lower.
I assume it's gonna be a lot though. It's because still like an hour and a half of a TV show. It's only you said it can only be like a few episodes. So I'm gonna say
Mhm.
like 13.
37.
Damn. I was trying to go low so that I
In
wouldn't
total,
fail.
I digest 125 different projects,
Yeah.
whether movies or TV.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna be real. That's lower than what I was expecting, but I like I was saying on a previous podcast, this past year has been one of the toughest of my entire life.
Yeah.
Not only with my best friend being gone for months,
Yeah.
but also some health stuff and all other sorts of other things. I was very busy,
Yeah.
I had to travel. Finally, that came back, and we had to go. We went. Not only was I going places for stuff like Extra Life, but also like personal family stuff that I couldn't. I had to be there for.
Yeah.
Not to bring the room down, but
Yeah.
there's 2 ways we can go about this. We can either sit here for probably 2 hours and go through these one by one,
Yeah.
or, and you know what, we might, but I feel like it's more appropriate if I just start rattling off
Yeah.
everything real quick.
I'll just go through and see which ones that stand out and like which ones you want to talk
Just
about the most.
if you have one that you want me to talk about, pop up a finger or something.
Yeah.
Don't stop. I'm gonna keep going, but
Okay.
cue the Animaniacs music. United States, Canada, Mexico. No. House Moving Castle, The Death of Superman, King Kong 1933, Yojimbo, Enter the Dragon, Police Story, Thor Ragnarok, Deadpool, High School Musical 1, High School Musical 2, High School Musical 3, Weathering with You, Shaun of the Dead, Us, Drunken Master 2, Avengers Endgame, The Ring, X-Men's Days of Future Past, the 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Guardians of the Galaxy, Teen Titans, Trouble in Tokyo,
Yeah.
The Incredibles, The Terminator, The Ten Commandments, Hot Fuzz, Justice League versus the Teen Titans, The Judas Contract, Lupin the Third, the First, Adventures of Robin Hood, American Werewolf in London, The Exorcist, The Corpus Bride, Godzilla vs. Kong, The Hills Have Eyes, 2006, Frankenweenie, Black Dynamite, From Dusk Till Dawn, The Princess Bride, 28 Days Later, Ted, South Park's Vaccination Special, Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, The Banger Sisters, Call of the Wild, Minari, I hopefully got that one right, News of the World, Tenet, The Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, Conquest for the Planet of the Apes, and Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
All right.
Requiem for a Dream, Army of the Dead, Terminator 2, The Suicide Squad, the newer one.
Yeah.
The Curse of Frankenstein, Reefer Madness, Labyrinth, Goodfellas, Blade, The Hammer Dracula, The Blob, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Evil Dead 2, Cloverfield, Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th Part 2, Friday the 13th Part 3, 3D.
When you watch those?
Inside. Friday the 13th Part 4, The Final Chapter, Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, and Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Night of the Living Dead, Vivo, Lone Wolf and Cub, Sword of Vengeance, Men in Black 3, Star Trek, Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Car at the River Styx, Critters, Natural Born Killers, The Rugrats Movie, The Unforgivable, Spinal Tap, Baby Driver, and at Christmas Day, Forrest Gump. That was every movie I have watched in the past year.
Jesus Christ. 88.
Should we just go ahead and rattle off the TV shows?
Just
as well?
go ahead. You got 30-something?
Yep. Queen's Gambit, Batman the Animated Series, She-Ra, Princess Power, WandaVision, Black Mirror, Breaking Bad, The Muppet Show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, American Dragon, Jake Long, Invincible, The Bad Batch, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Amazing World of Gumball, Adventure Time, Ben 10 Alien Force, Loki, The Powerpuff Girls, The Looney Tunes Show, Regular Show, Invincible. I put Invincible twice. Doctor Who.
So 32 maybe?
Doctor Who, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Love, Death, and Robots, Power Rangers Dino Thunder, The Walking Dead, Star Wars Visions, The Owl House, The Twilight Zone, The Outer Limits, Futurama, Squid Game, The X-Files, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Cowboy Bebop's live-action adaptation, Bob's Burgers, Amphibia, and most recently, I started watching The Crown.
All right. Jeez.
That's a lot of television.
I have to say, I wasn't particularly surprised at anything, but mostly the television, because I heard a lot of awesome favorites on there.
Yeah,
movies was amazing though.
I liked doing this exercise because it kind of put in perspective like how I watched movies and stuff. That being said, I'm never doing this again. This was so annoying to try to remember to do this every time, and I'd have to like go back and be like, oh, I didn't put this one on the list, and I have to put that back. I'm confident I got everything.
Yeah.
And maybe I missed one thing, maybe, but like I'm pretty certain I got most of everything.
Yeah.
And it's funny of me looking at this now, how many I watched with you.
Yeah. I know. I was realized like, oh, okay. I forgot we watched all of WandaVision this year.
Well,
I kind of forgot that was this year.
was this year, dude. Because if time just, I don't know what it is right now, but time just feels like a new concept. It's like we're experiencing it in a different way now.
Yeah.
After 2020, it feels like time is just shifted, and no longer we have to come up with a new way to measure it.
The worst part is that like people who are just becoming adults, I wouldn't say like just becoming adults, but people who
have been adults for a little bit.
have just become their first years of being adults, like we were just now getting used to time going faster anyways.
Yeah.
And 2020 hit, and now we don't even know how to feel about the time that's passed and how time is passing currently, because like it just does not feel the same at all. Who knows whether it's because we're getting older, whether because the pandemic or whatever. But like, jeez,
I think it's probably
it's
both.
pretty intense. Yeah,
You know,
pretty intense feeling, like just for everything to be
there's
different.
an old Shakespearean sonnet that once said, "Time keeps on slipping,
Oh,
slipping
is that Shakespearean? I thought that was
into the future."
I thought that was made by some guy named Steve.
Steve,
Steve.
wait, is that his name?
It's the Steve Miller Band, right?
Is it? I don't know.
Oh God.
I'm gonna be real. That's the
Don't
only
fuck with
time.
Don't fuck with me.
The only thing I can think about with that song is Space Jam,
Fly
because they use it
like
in
an
one
eagle.
scene of that movie.
Is it the basketball scene?
Yeah, where he's out there shooting with his dad.
Fly.
I don't know
like
why, I
an
really like that
eagle.
scene.
The Steve Miller Band.
Okay,
Fly
so
Like
it
an
was
Eagle.
Steve Miller Band.
You know, I have to say before we move off the topic of that song, he gives some very simple solutions to some very complicated problems. He's like,
Example.
you know, feed the people who don't have enough to eat. Shoe the children with no shoes on their feet. House the people living in the street. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that is what we should do. Any ideas how?
Yeah.
House the people.
House
Just
the people.
put them in houses. Feed them. Put shoes on their feet. It's like,
Back.
if that was how it worked, we would have already done it, Steve. Jeez.
We could do it. Eat the rich.
Somebody could do it. I can't. I don't have enough
Yeah,
money.
me and you can't do shit.
But there's multiple
here's
people
what
in this world who could
we sit
solve
on.
an entire city's almost
Listen,
problem.
I've learned our job is to sit on soapboxes or stand on them and yell them into microphones. You know, scream those lyrics. Is there anything I can do about it? Nope. Is there something that probably a lot of policy and legislator could do but aren't going to do? Yeah, probably. Anyway, back to movies. I feel like let's go down this list a little bit because I think at one of the early podcasts I read off the first few of this list back when it was just like the first couple weeks of January.
Mhm.
The first movie I watched of the year was Howl's Moving Castle. I had not seen it before. I would say 90% of these were movies I had not seen before. There are a lot of exceptions of like Enter the Dragon and Baby Driver are just two of my favorite movies of all time. So
Yeah.
it would be Baby Driver actually came on TV, and then I was just like, well, I can't leave.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like you see it and you're like, well, I'm just gonna stay here for now.
Yeah.
But I watched. I think that was when we were still in quarantining and stuff. So that would be. I probably watched that over a Discord party with friends
Yeah.
because we were doing movie nights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like, why not? It's fun. Overall, I wouldn't say I know a lot of people who that's their favorite Ghibli movie. Not my favorite. My Neighbor Totoro is still like top tier for me. It's a good second or a good third maybe.
It was actually just right after I got back. I hung out with one of my friends, and they really wanted me to watch that movie with them, and I did not because I just wanted to like spend time with them because it was like when me and you watch movies together because we also hang out like for plenty of time.
It's also
This is a person that I haven't seen like
Yeah.
in months at this point in time, and I was like, oh, I would rather just kind of like talk, like sit here and just hang out and talk instead of
And
watching
we're
a
in a
movie,
unique
so.
position
But
where
I still do want to watch it. Just,
we're in.
yeah.
Yeah, we could do all the Ghibli movies on the Catch a Movie commentary if you want.
Yeah, we could start multiple series of that.
But brain fog. I hate you. But we're in a unique position where I just reset.
Yeah.
We're in a unique position where not only do we have a thing where we talk all the time off camera, but then we have a dedicated time in the middle of the week where we sit down and talk to each other for at least an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then we have another set time period where we record ourselves watching movies.
Yeah.
So
And then we're
things
gonna
are
have
checked.
another time period where we record ourselves playing video games together.
Yes.
And it's like these people were just like
Twitch is fun. All right.
sucking our life force.
And we are Blue Curl on everything. Blue Curl
Look up Blue
Productions.
Curl. on
Next thing I was
all
watching was
platforms.
the Death of Superman. Death of Superman, the animated one.
I haven't seen that one.
The only thing that really stuck out, it's the book. Doomsday shows up and kills Superman.
Yeah, it's like you're not gonna be surprised by whatever you read, but it's good. You know.
The only thing that I think that they added to it that I think really did a real more justice to the story and made it a lot better
Yeah.
is at the beginning of the movie Lois doesn't know that Clark is Superman. So it's half the death of Superman story, and also Superman coming out to Lois Lane, and then he tells her.
I'm sorry, you said coming out like it was like
coming out as Superman.
yeah.
To Lois, and of course emotions are already high because you just find out that the guy that you're about to marry is Superman.
Yeah.
So and
That'd be
then
terrifying.
After that, that's when Doomsday shows up. So there's a lot more emotional weight to it than like the original story and stuff. I think they did a really good job, and of course it's that DC style animation that they've been doing for a long time. They're good at it. They know how to do it. It does I'm trying to think what else stuck out. I remember there's a scene, I don't know, I guess it's the Golden Gate Bridge or something, or it's some kind of
Whatever that
bridge.
is, Metropolis.
yeah. Some kind of giant bridge where Superman just starts grabbing like those giant red like pillar, like the cable things or whatever, and starts wrapping Doomsday in them. That stands out to me.
Yeah.
And of course there's Lex being a dick.
Always.
Of course, I'm a huge fan.
Except for in Smallville.
This is going to be a lot of just like short reviews for
Yeah.
a lot of movies. Of course, we get King Kong, 1933. I love old movies, and this is, of course, like one of the most important movies ever when it comes to effects.
Yeah.
When it comes to like just the stuff they had to do when we're talking about stop motion, we're talking about giant practical monkey fists. It's like all of those things. I think is very important to go back and watch movies like that.
Yeah.
You'll notice that on my list several times there's going to be a lot of a few foreign films, but then a hefty amount of samurai movies. I love samurai and westerns and stuff like that. So Yojimbo, I'm gonna be real. I know I saw it early in the year. I can't tell you a thing that happened.
Oh my gosh.
I remember it being good.
So is it a samurai movie?
Yeah, it's a samurai movie.
Okay.
If you gave me more time, I probably would remember it. But we're not gonna go through everything on this list. I'm just the stuff that stands out. Enter the Dragon and Police Story. A Bruce Lee movie followed up by a Jackie Chan film. You could tell what mood I was in.
Yeah.
And there were, of course, those were like two of the greatest martial artists ever to be on film.
Yeah.
It's if you had to rank them for me, it's Bruce, Jackie, and Jet Li. Like those three, man. Like
Yeah.
if any of those three were in a movie, it's there's some good stuff, good choreography in those movies.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's scroll down a bit. Oh, the High School Musical trilogy. That was another movie night with friends.
I remember we were talking about that one.
We watched all three. I think there's a spin-off to one. It's like all about Sharpay.
Yeah.
That we still need
Fabulous
to watch.
Adventure.
Yeah, we still need to watch that. There's gonna be a lot of me looking at my phone this podcast, but we have to watch that one still. We still want to.
Yeah.
But I think in a minute, I think we did that in about a week, where we like every other night we were watching one of them, and a lot of people were not sober.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like a lot of older people.
Todd, I know
not
you're out there. He had such a hard time watching these because he can't deal with any like cringe stuff or
Yeah.
whatever. I revel in it, like
Yeah.
one of my favorite things shows of all time is Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Did you watch High School Musicals as a kid? Like, did you watch those movies, or were you like
No,
not in that demographic?
I think I saw the first one because everyone did.
Yeah.
But and then after I was just like, I don't. I when I was a kid, I didn't know what to call it at the time, but I hated cringe.
Yeah.
Now that I'm an adult, I love it.
Yeah.
Because it's just hilarious to me.
I think I would still enjoy to a certain extent. I haven't seen them in years. Keep this
they're
in
not
mind.
as bad as I thought they were when I was
Yeah.
young. And it may be because I've watched so many worse movies since then.
Yeah.
They weren't actually that bad of a musical.
The scene, I used to love the scene where Troy did the in High School Musical 2, he did Bet on It, where he goes out to the golf course and does that. Like,
Yeah.
I used to think that was so cool. I could look back and watch it. It's not that cool.
It's really
still
not.
still a cool song. Still a cool song.
I think it's 3, the junkyard scene.
Oh, that one's actually
That
really
one
cool.
actually is
that
good.
one is legitimately
And it's
impressive.
funny to me to watch that franchise in such a close proximity of time and watch as it, like, the first one come, it was very clearly a movie, like, they were cool with it.
Just a regular decom.
They were just like, they gave it a fair budget.
Yeah.
But then it became a hit. It's like Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Like if you watch Lethal Weapon 1 versus Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah.
Where it's like, cool, way more budget and stuff. Throw all that at it, and then like the sets become so unbelievably more like grandiose in scale.
Yeah.
And then it happens again with the third one, and I think that's the biggest problem with the third one, where it feels there's almost no grounding to like reality anymore.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's just a stage show at that point.
Yeah.
You know.
So you have to realize that I've got a completely different like history with these because of course I grew up with my older sister, so we watched Disney Channel like all the time.
Your 5,000
saw-
siblings. Jake's family is like fucking rabbits.
But like me and my sister, like that was the person who I lived with for the longest. So when she watched Disney Channel, so did I. So I watched all his movies as a kid, and I actually performed the last song from High School Musical 3 in high school. So I have like a long history with these movies. I think I'd still enjoy them, like watching all of them. I think I'd still be down with it.
We should do it for Catch a Movie. Like I think we would generally have a good time with that.
Yeah, I still remember probably more of the songs than I either am willing to admit or than I think I do.
And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of cheese. There's a lot for us to make fun of for it. But like there's also a fair amount that like probably shouldn't be overlooked.
I won't hold back on the jokes, but I definitely will find the good stuff and capitalize on that when we watch if we watch. I'm not gonna say we will. We've got plenty of stuff we wanted to watch, so I'm not making any promises.
Moving on to Weathering with You. Oh my gosh. This was another Discord party one.
Yeah.
I think I bought the DVD because I loved the movie so much. This is the problem with how long these shelves are. No, I got fireworks. Never mind. Okay. I cannot express to you how much with Weathering with You. I showed you Your Name.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you liked it. You thought it was a fair movie. You know how it's kind of got that similar. I think it's the same studio, so it looks very similar. But
I like the animation for Your Name too.
It's amazing.
It's awesome.
You know how it's got that really good love story going on.
Yeah.
Weathering with You takes it to like another level of like.
You liked it better than Your Name?
You know, that's a really good question.
Yeah, because I was about to say,
I
remember.
wouldn't say like love. It's like I wouldn't say straight love story, but like it's a really good. I can't describe this movie without spoiling it. So if you want anything out of it, say if you like anime, go watch that. And you're gonna say like there's a strong lack of anime on my list this year, and it's just because nothing new was piquing my interest. I wasn't particularly trying to get into a bunch of shows this year.
Yeah.
Just from like a time restraint issue, but like I think. If I had to pick like 3 movies that I think everyone should see in that genre, it would be Your Name, Weathering with You, and A Silent Voice.
Yeah,
those 3. I think if those are some heart-wrenching movies, you know, and it's with that insane like almost unreal art styles that can just like push the story so much further.
Yeah.
So that's. Go watch that one at the very least. Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Of course. My man. Edward Wright. Huge fan. Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Fantastic movie. I thought I also watched Hot Fuzz.
You did.
I did. It was on.
Yeah, so you said it. You said it on the list.
I just didn't do it at the same time. I watched the Jordan Peele movie. I can't remember which one.
Us, yeah. Yeah, I remember you saying Us too.
I can never remember if it was Key or Peele that went to do directing.
Yeah, it was Jordan Peele.
Okay.
Because I don't know if Keenan, I think his name is Keenan Michael Key has done much. I think he's still hilarious. He's been on SNL sometime recently, but I don't know if he directs or anything. But did Us come out this year or was that?
No, it didn't come out this year. I just saw it this year.
Yeah. Was that last year?
Okay.
Or was that the year before that?
Let me preface this saying I love Key and Peele.
Yeah,
I really like their stuff. And honestly, I really liked this movie. I thought it was a good subversive thriller.
Yeah.
The twist is obvious from the second you see it.
Like the girl being replaced with the other girl?
I mean, there it is, yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you haven't seen Us by this point...
Sorry. It's fine.
I'm sorry, but you should...
Yeah, no,
should know.
And here's the thing. I don't feel bad. I don't even feel like I need to put a warning or anything because it's that predictable. And it might just be because I've seen a million movies, but like,
I I honestly did not like. I didn't pick up on it.
Here's what gave it away. When you showed the same scene 3 separate times
Yeah.
without changing anything about it,
Yeah.
and it didn't really add a whole lot to the story, and also that character, the mom,
Yeah.
not really having a super like not really dealing with the emotion of that scene
Yeah.
a lot through the movie, it was clear to me immediately what was going on. And then because like if you look at it this way, if you look at
Yeah.
it as if you kind of have that connection, if you treat the mom's parallel,
Yeah.
which is the real one, and you're like, she's acting the way that a kid in that who experienced that scenario would be acting. That's what made it click for me.
Yeah, I literally did not like. I was caught up in the concept of the movie, like, of the mirror doubles, and I
Mhm.
thought like, I
It's
don't know.
terrifying.
I really did enjoy it. It didn't like. I wasn't like scared to look in the mirror afterwards,
No,
but
it was
it
not
was
one of those.
definitely something
I put it
that I
more.
really loved the idea.
I put it much more as a thriller than I would a horror movie.
Yeah, I wasn't like scared, but I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely, as talked about afterwards, like, you know, I still love the movie. I just
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't scared, but I was surprised by the twist. I didn't pick up on it.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
saying I got it immediately.
Yeah,
you know? And that sucks. It sucks when you like, especially in my case, when I literally read books and stuff about storytelling and about how scripts are written and how all this stuff works. And when you do that,
Yeah.
things become very obvious very quickly. And that sucks for
Yeah.
a lot of things. That's why I got to give one of my favorite movies ever, Knives Out,
Yeah.
a huge plus, because that's a movie where I didn't see anything coming.
Yeah.
You know, I like the movie had like the first act. I'm like, all right, I think it's probably this or this.
Yeah.
And then something new elements start proving up, and the whole genre of the movie starts changing. And I'm like, movie, where are we going with this? If I ask that question,
Yeah.
I'm invested in a movie.
Yeah.
And I did it with Cabin in the Woods, which I've talked about before, but I think ultimately falls a little flat at the end.
Yeah.
It's still the very, very ending. But this Knives Out, I'm like, where are we going? And I'm on the edge of my seat. I am sitting like this, just like, where is this going? Watching the movie. You know, there's a monitor next to the camera, and that's what I'm staring. I'm just staring directly at me. But I realize it just looks like I'm staring dead into camera. But you've seen Us, right?
Hmm?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I've seen Us, but I didn't get to see Knives Out. That was one I was looking forward to. But
We will watch that as Catch a Movie.
I didn't want to say,
I
like,
think it's
speaking of twists, I'm gonna keep this anonymous because I'm not looking for clout. But I forgot to tell you.
Go ahead.
So I was talking to the actor I was talking to last night, and the property they were in, they got canceled. Again, we're keeping it anonymous because I don't look for clout.
No clout.
The property they were in, they got canceled. I guessed what the
The
ending
show they were
was.
in.
Yeah, the show they were in that didn't get picked up. I asked him what the twist was because I guessed it.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, yeah, I knew what they were trying to do there, but I'm not sure if they're going to keep it the same. And she didn't tell me if I was right or wrong. And I was kind of like asking.
Yeah, avoiding NDAs is what that was.
I was trying to be like, so I thought the villain was this person. And then she was like, yeah, I knew the twist. And
Yeah,
didn't say
that's
whether it was
called
right or
dodging,
was-
dodging, trying to get sued. Because if she had said anything,
I wanted to
and
know
then
so
you had
bad.
leaked something, that would have gone so poorly.
I know. I would not like. I'm not even gonna say who I talked to or
No,
what show
don't
it
say a
was,
word.
just because. But just because the show got canceled, so I don't know whether it's gonna come out now or not because it might get picked up, but who knows? But I really wanted to know if my ending was correct because it seemed like I'm really upset that she couldn't say what time of yes or no, but I forgot to tell you that I actually directly asked. I was like, "Here's my theory."
Here's my theory about your show.
Was it? She
You
didn't
went
say.
full Matt Bat on her.
I was like, "All right, I got it all figured out."
I mean,
all
the
details.
show's over.
She just say yes or no. I was like,
Moving on. Adding on to my love of martial art films, Drunken Master 2. Amazing movie.
I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That the drunker he gets, the better he fights.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Now
I remember
there's a little bit of a naming issue with those movies in terms of Drunken Master, Legend of the Drunken Master, and Drunken Master 2. Like even I don't really have it figured out, like based on which country which movie is.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming what I put down was Drunken Master 2, which I think is the one. It's either the one where Drunken Master 1 is, I think, with that really good train fight. Drunken Master 2 is, I think, is the one with a market.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly, but yeah, all of them are great.
I remember the market fight because that's the one where she's like she throws.
Did I watch it with you?
We watched, I think, just the market scene, but I thought that was a cool concept.
Okay.
His own fighting style. That was pretty funny.
Avengers Endgame. I've talked enough about that. The Ring. I watched this year. The 2000, the American Ring.
Okay.
So not Ringo, but it's weird because that movie feels like it should be more cliched than it is.
Yeah.
Like I watched the movie and I was like, even when the movie came out, I was like, I remember it, like it was everywhere. There were Ring parodies everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I think, I'm trying to think of I know like every sitcom did it, every freaking like
pranks, late night shows,
internet series, freaking across the board. They were doing, if it was a spoof on a horror thing at the time, it was The Ring, which makes you think that the movie itself would feel more cliched at a certain point, but it doesn't. It actually holds up a lot better than I think it does. There's one thing that irks me about the entire movie, though.
Yeah.
That the entire movie looks like it was shot through a Sprite bottle. It is green. Like, the whole movie is just green.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that.
Do you mean like there's a green filter,
yes,
or it's got like a green
I
theme?
mean it looks like if I held a Sprite bottle up to that camera, that's how the movie was shot.
What? I've never seen it, but I've never seen like a clip or anything. I guess because I never known that.
And of course, like we've seen, it makes me. I almost want to look into. This is creepy, but I almost am curious about the history of, like, for some reason, why is one of the default ghosts a little girl? Where does that stem from? Does it come from, if we go back, for the earliest examples I can think of are The Shining and The Exorcist, but I'm sure it goes further back than that.
Gotta say, it's the corruption of innocence. Like, it's like the fact that this thing should be cute and nice, and it's gonna kill you, and it's small, so you feel like you can't hurt it, and you like. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of reasons why just like little girls, like ghostly or
yeah.
even dolls are creepy, just because like it's supposed to be cute and innocent, and it's not, and it just gets weird. Like, I don't know. It's almost to me like an Uncanny Valley thing. Like, it gets to like, it's supposed to be like, instead of being realistic, it's supposed to be like cute, and it's like just doesn't reach that point. So it's wrong. It feels like
it's just not quite there, or it's like a twist on something.
I can't really explain it, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's just
I wonder
like,
if that's why it doesn't bother me
that
that much. Is because I think all kids are weird and gross. It's like you're just a fetus that got bigger.
Yeah, I love kids, so I don't know. Like,
so maybe that.
And I've always been afraid of dolls. Like, since I was a kid, like I don't know why.
Now,
like creepy dolls like really get to me.
The analog function of that, I loved way more. Like the videotapes and stuff like that. It's cool with me. Of course, with this, but like I think this comes into a conversation. I don't know if I had it with you or with AC or somebody, but the best, it was our friend Genevieve when we were at a Christmas party. We were talking about this. We were talking about how some of the best horror that has come out of like the last 10 years has had nothing to do with Hollywood. It's been the best stuff that I've seen recently has all been like internet-based stuff, like internet series. Like we were talking about analog horror as a genre being kind of exploding right now, and there's a lot of terrifying shit.
That gets to me like it looks like security tapes, or looks like whatever. Like that's one of the reasons why freaking Blair Witch was so huge, was because like for some reason the analog style just works so well.
And that's and we've talked about how much I don't like the Blair Witch and I don't like Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
But I think putting that stuff on the internet works so much better because it's not, you don't your brain doesn't trigger that it's a movie, and you're not taking
It
it out of
it almost
it.
does feel like you're watching something literally just posted on the internet.
Well,
Yeah.
because there's so much shit that just comes across my phone. I'm like, where it's just like I'll be scrolling like the top page of Reddit. It's like, oh, here's a beheading. I'm like, cool. Now that's in my brain.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe there's a section of that comes up where it's like it feels more real, like this is more tangible or something. And there's like
I agree.
stuff,
Yeah, I agree.
especially like the ones we were specifically talking about were Local 58, which I know she showed you.
Yeah.
And the Mandela catalog. The Mandela catalog, I watched it and it stuck with me for days.
Wait, did she show me that or I show her that?
Either way.
No, I'm just trying to legitimately because like I'm trying to remember whether I heard about it on Game Theory or not, or Movie Theory or I don't know.
I think that is the stuff where some great horror comes from. I think that because like it's simple. I think it goes back to like the old days of Alien, where it's like the less you see of the monster, the scarier it is. And like I get that, but I don't fully dive into that. I think you need just the right amount, you know. Whereas, because if by that logic, Paranormal Activity should be a way scarier movie because you don't see anything in the entire movie.
Yeah.
But that movie, I could put that on, and I think a baby would fall asleep. You know. It's just something about that, and even if we go a little bit further outside of that, there's shit like Crypt TV. Have you watched any of their stuff? Fantastic monster stuff.
Yeah.
Fantastic monster stuff. We're talking about
Why have I heard of the channel name? Is it like something? Do they have anything big? Like really, really
they've
big?
got a bunch of stuff. They've basically got an MCU universe, but for cryptid monsters and stuff.
Oh.
There's one called like the Look-See. There's the frickin' the Birch. There's so many and such great practical character design too.
Yeah.
As someone on the theater end of it, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
But I really think that this could be a whole podcast itself of why, but I think that the best horror. Could you think of a horror movie that's came out in the last 10 years that you legitimately gave a shit about?
Like that I wanted to go see or that I saw and then I liked?
That either. Let's separate the two. Because
when did It Follows come out? Because I like that one.
Okay,
a lot.
It Follows.
But I don't know whether that came out the last 10 years.
concept.
Did it?
I don't know. It might not have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it could have come out before.
But the fact that we're debating
20
it shows
or
that there's
2011.
been a lull for a while. You know, I just think that picking it up there, I think that is where that genre is going to grow for a while. You know, because you're not upholden to things like the MPAA.
Yeah.
You know, or you get to just the people. I've never met more passionate movie fans in my life than than horror movie fans.
Yeah.
Those people are the most passionate about what the movies they like, you know.
Yeah.
They've seen every movie in the Friday the 13th. They've seen every Nightmare on Elm Street. And and now those people are out there making their own cool stuff.
Yeah.
And
No,
it makes me very
I love
excited
internet
to
horror.
see
Yeah.
where that stuff, whether it's like a produced thing like Crypt TV, or if it's like this pseudo like found footage type deal, like with like the Mandela catalog scared me for like it was stuck with me for a few days. Like I'm not joking, because there's like I think a lot of it is because there's a lot of religious imagery in that, and things like The Exorcist. That's the stuff that always freaked me out, was like demons and stuff. I don't know. That's my horror movie weakness.
Yeah. I've always, you know,
That
when
being
I go
said,
there,
I couldn't give two shits about the Conjuring movies.
oh no, I don't watch. I mean, I don't keep up with like the big series like that because I like them. You know, like they'll get me while I'm watching them, but they don't stick with me because it's not. It almost seems like they're just saying horror concept, horror. You know, like they're not really saying like this universe has all of this one specific thing going down. It's like all in the same universe is this creepy doll, this demon, this haunted house, this hanging tree. Like there's like all these like basic horror. I don't know. It really seems like very cut and paste to me.
And and you're saying cut and paste. I think that a lot of it has just been. There's nothing been super creative. It's like, oh, a creepy doll or this tree or whatever. But if you go and look at like the stuff they're making online, there's like creative designs. I'm
Yeah.
talking creative ideas and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and it takes a lot from early stuff, like maybe stuff like The Thing or whatever. But we've spent way too much time on this. But if you like horror and you can genuinely can handle some intense horror, start looking into stuff on the online stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm telling, like, look up like top 10 creepiest like security like find real footage or find some of the analog horror if you really like, if you're not satisfied
analog
with the
horror
stuff
is
you're
my
seeing.
big one right now.
I would say look into that stuff, because that stuff is legitimately scary, and people actually make that stuff with passion. Like, the creators of that kind of stuff know what they're doing, and they found a really good niche, so go support that.
All right. Moving forward, I'm just gonna skip through and see like which ones. X-Men: Days of Future Past. It's a fine movie.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles. I think we did commentary for that one because it's one of my favorite movies.
We definitely did, because we did the
Guardians of the Galaxy, Teen Titans Go! The Incredibles. The Incredibles might be one of the only movies I've ever seen that gets better every single time I watch it.
Yeah.
You know how I talked about how I stopped watching The Last Jedi because I disliked it more and more every time I watched it.
Stuff wrong with it.
Yeah, every time I watch that movie, I dislike it more. And I was a person that was pretty neutral to it.
Yeah.
My stomach is growling intensely.
I kind of heard that just
I don't
now.
know if the mic picked it up, but I'm like, wow.
I thought that was a motorcycle outside until you
I
said
did
it out
too.
loud. I heard from off in the distance.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Didn't we do the damn thing with Raph from
Yeah,
from with
because
Raph
the
from,
best thing
Yeah.
is the best thing
Yes.
about that movie is the fact that Raphael says "damn" 3 times.
So we definitely commentated that one. I remember.
He scream. I love it. It just cuts to New York City. Just there, damn. It's after he loses a side.
Yeah, he tries to get it, and then he gets beat up by Casey and does the same thing.
It's so good.
Calm down, Raph.
Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo, we also did a commentary for.
Yeah.
And that one did very well. Thank you. Go watch Catch a Movie commentary.
Yeah, so go check that one out if you haven't seen it yet.
Incredibles, we said that. Terminator, classic. On Easter, I watched The 10 Commandments, which is a long. It's generally like a thing, like it's always on TV, and I was just like, you know what, I haven't seen this, let's watch this.
Yeah.
And so I watched that. It's about 3 hours long, but it is this giant biblical story, and like in terms of like it's one of those movies that you gotta look back at just for, even if you're not a religious person or anything, just the effects and stuff in the movie, and the fact that it was able to tell such a grandiose scale of a story. It's like, and the watching, like the tablets have the commandments burned into them, you know.
Yeah.
It almost made me think about, I wonder how, if anyone who was working on Raiders of the Lost Ark saw that movie, because I think there's a few parallels in just terms of like how God is perceived, like is shown as in like the power way, you know, with like the Nazis' faces getting pulled off and stuff. I don't think it's not like a 1-to-1 or anything, but I felt very similar vibes to that.
Yeah. Well, when they did Raiders, I mean, we have to consider the fact that there was less media trying to portray God in all these different lights, like trying to symbolize him within movies. So, I mean, it's very possible that they saw that.
They try
and,
to do
that's
some
where
kind of godly symbolism in a lot of things, you know.
Yeah.
It's like freaking Superman
Like-
coming down in like a crucified pose.
Yeah. Like, my thing is that now if you're trying to make a movie like that has some element of religion or God in it, you have plenty of movies to go and watch to get like inspiration for that. But whenever they made Raiders, I mean, there was a lot less of these people trying to do that.
And it's
so
weird because like
who knows?
it's the one movie I can look at and be like, you know what? They made a good Christian movie.
Yeah.
Which I've never seen before.
Yeah.
They're so bad. I don't understand how the batting average for that is so low.
Yeah.
You know.
You haven't seen Jesus Christ Superstar?
Okay, that's a stage show.
I mean, it's a movie.
Is it?
Yeah, they made it into a movie.
Well, now I
Also,
gotta watch that.
I saw on live TV when John Legend played Jesus. So that was
What timeline do we live in that you were able to say that? Well, you know what my first
timelines.
you know what my first role ever in theater was, right?
Was it Jesus?
It was Jesus. I was a baby. My parents
What?
wand going to church
Your
and
first
stuff.
role was Jesus?
Yeah, my first role was Jesus.
Mine was like the Green Goblin. And Mr. Fantastic. Like, it was like,
You know, it's
superheroes.
Well, you have a place to go. I feel like I peaked. I played the perfect
you played
person.
the best, most perfect person in existence. The first
Yeah.
time, yeah. So you're kind of,
And then like as like I was like going further from the church. It was weird because like growing up, it was like my parents were in the church and stuff. I went with them, and then like as I got older, like we began to become disenfranchised with not religion, but with specifically the church, which was weird because it was like a lot of like we started to understand the scumminess of like the with churches and taxes and like all the money they're
Yeah.
holding and stuff. It was like, and like also I'm gonna be real, all the people that were supposed to be like nice Christian people there, there's a lot of passive aggression, which we were just not about.
that's the thing is that's not all churches. Like, I've been to churches that have legitimately amazing community, and every time they
Mhm.
raise money, like they put it towards people in their community, like their community needs the help, and they do that. I've
was
been to
like-
churches that actually do that well, but there's some churches that it's like the golden candlestick thing in the crucible, not the crucible.
Crucible.
It is, yes. Am I thinking
The
of
book?
Yeah,
Okay.
the golden candlestick. The preacher in the beginning, like he preaches every Sunday about golden candlesticks and
Mhm.
takes up donations, and then he finally gets them. Like, it's gonna make everyone
Yeah.
holier and better, and it's just.
It's nothing.
And then
No.
there's churches today do the
It's
same thing. All
weird.
those mega churches, like
Well, you saw that
You
fucking
that-
crazy shit with that dude, the mega church dude, the
Joel
Osteen. Osteen.
Osteen.
Where they found a fucking wall of money hidden in his church, and I don't know. I don't like. The thing that angers me the most, more than anything, across the board, in every facet of life, is hypocrisy.
Yeah.
You know, and when you tout yourself as a group of people, and this can go out to just every religious person. Make sure if your whole fundamentals of religion is the fact that you just want to be good to other people, then fucking be good to other people,
Yeah.
and don't start protesting gay folk and shit. That's not what this is about.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to movies.
Yeah.
You know, we tangent. It's fun.
Our show is like a tree. You know, this is the main point, and these are the conversations.
And maybe we'll get back. Maybe we'll realize
The tree branches go like this.
maybe an analogy could be like we're trying to get from like New York to LA without a map.
yeah.
You know, eventually.
We'll make it.
Maybe there's like one railroad that but
Only so many directions we can go in before we end up there. So.
I realized I watched a lot of horror this year. Ooh. American Werewolf in London. Have you seen that?
I've never heard of that.
It's
actually.
a complete parody on werewolf movies. And it honestly took me a solid 20 minutes getting into the movie to realize that it was a parody of it.
Really?
Yes, because it's one of those like we're gonna be very tongue in cheek and play it really
I was
real.
gonna say those are kind of the fun parodies,
They
though. Where
really
it
are.
seem like they're taking themselves so seriously, but then you're like, I know you're kidding. Like,
Mhm. It was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous, and I will say, great werewolf transformation. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the most important parts of a werewolf movie is the transformation sequence. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The Adventures of Robin Hood might be. I watched that movie and immediately was like, I want to build a
what
D.
year?
Oh, that's the one from the 30s.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
like the really old one.
yeah.
I watched that one. I was just like, man, I love good old swashbuckling adventure.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's later in here. I talk about The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
You know, and
Quality freaking movie.
the fight between Indigo and what's his name?
The Six-fingered man.
No, the earlier in the movie.
Oh, you're talking about Wesley.
Wesley. Thank you. That fight is so awesome for so many different reasons.
Yeah.
You know, like it's got this like they're just they're men of honor who are just swashbuckling and having a good time doing it.
As I love,
you know?
without even speaking about it, they're both using their offhand. Like they're
Yeah.
both using their left hand and fighting like this, and they both like, oh wait,
Yep.
this guy's not holding back
It's
either.
So good. So good. I love that.
So they have to change.
But I like I don't know. It's a good adventure movie.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It didn't like if you like that kind of sword fight, those kind of old fashioned, the way they used to do sword fights with the swashbuckling nature, you know, that would be awesome. But to do The Corpse Bride.
Amazing movie.
Corpse Bride. of course.
Awesome soundtrack.
It does
That's
really.
That's my favorite. Part about it.
Regardless about like how Tim Burton has been perceived for like a lot of stuff lately.
Really?
Yeah, it's just don't worry about it.
Okay, yeah, I haven't heard anything about
Just
that.
just enjoy the movies. The movies are good,
Yeah.
you know, regardless of like anything else. And that's my thing is about. For me, I always separate the art from the artist. You know, I think that's important to do
Yeah.
for any movie painter, whatever. What you know, it doesn't matter. It's like removing all the terrible atrocities that he committed. Hitler's painting still sucked. Like even if yeah.
Like we're like separating them, but they both suck. So
Yeah,
it's
there was
okay.
like both things were still awful, you know.
I haven't seen Hitler's paintings, so I can't necessarily comment on that. But
I mean,
he's a bad
they're
person.
they're the thing I took a lot of art history. The thing I can describe him as is just boring.
Oh, he
not
didn't.
interesting.
See, he it's not that he was bad like at making a picture. It was bad about like just making something.
This is going into my Google search. Hitler paintings.
I thought you were gonna say something about like someone more recent than Hitler, but I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like watching a Miramax movie.
Yeah.
You know, post Harvey Weinstein.
I mean, honestly, the good thing is that he was probably not involved in a lot of the creative stuff. He was just.
They're just kind of, eh.
I hate to say it. That's not that bad. I couldn't do that good of a painting. Still a terrible person, but we were just talking about disconnecting the art from the artist.
Disconnect the painting from the person.
Somebody wants to like take me out for this. Then what can I do?
Frankenweenie, another one of his. Tim Burton, not Hitler.
Frankenweenie, another one of his.
Okay.
Hitler's.
Have you ever seen From Dusk Till Dawn?
Sounds like a zombie movie,
No.
but I guess I'm just also thinking Dawn of the Dead. So
Okay.
no, I haven't seen
I
it.
know what movie we're watching today for Catch a Movie.
For Dusk Till Dawn. What's it about?
I don't want to say a word. If you have never seen Dusk Till Dawn, do not look up anything about the movie. Don't do a thing. Just watch the movie and thank me later.
I'm a little afraid, but
You should be.
I mean,
You
we'll
should
do
be.
it.
Because this is one of those movies that's so much better if you just forget and if you have no clue what anything is about.
Yeah.
And there's an art to that, and we would have to talk in depth about that movie another time.
I just realized you said your stomach's growling.
What?
You said your stomach.
Yeah.
When's the last time we ate something?
What's today?
Wednesday. I hope the answer is yesterday.
I mean,
or this morning. one of the two.
Yesterday, but I know I ate yesterday.
Okay, we're gonna get food after this.
We'll get food.
I just realized I'm really hungry.
Okay. Okay, we'll talk about this for a second. The South Park specials that they've been putting out.
Wait, did you see the new one?
I have not seen the newest one.
Okay, I'm the opposite. I have not seen the
there was two. The vaccination. It was pandemic and then vaccination.
yeah. I did not see the pandemic special. Was the one? Was the first
Special.
one, right?
Yes.
And then
And
the
vaccination.
event. Yeah,
Vaccination special.
I thought it was like a special. I thought they called it an event because he was like, "This isn't a special."
By the way,
More
we've
like
said
an event.
we've said vaccination so many times. I guarantee you, one of those fucking the YouTube blurbs is gonna be underneath this video. It's like we're not even talking about
Yeah.
it. Get your vaccine. That's all I'm saying. Get them. I got my third jab the other day. It was great. Had no side effects.
If you're not gonna do it, then just freaking leave me alone about
Leave
it.
it, just stay inside. Let us do.
Whether you
rule the
are
world.
or aren't, like, do you really gotta
But
keep talking about
so
it?
South Park was signed. I think it was with Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
To do a bunch more of like these longer episode things.
That's why I was confused, is because South Park and the first special is on HBO Max, but everything else is on
Yeah.
Paramount Plus.
Well, I think that's the problem. I think all of the new South Park stuff is going to be going to Paramount Plus.
okay.
South Park itself is going to stay on HBO Max for at least a while, and then I imagine it will probably move over there again, which is weird. I don't know. It's a whole thing with streaming rights and stuff.
That's weird, but I ended up watching both the new ones and not the old one because I really want to see them all as adults,
And they're funny.
I really wanted to know if Carbon was faking. So.
If you're into the South Park style humor, you'll like them.
Yeah.
You know, they're pretty good. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing groundbreaking. It's South Park. It's what you've been watching since when your parents told you not to. A classic. Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
Honestly, when you said that, not only does that sound strange, I've also never heard of that.
You've never heard of Doctor Strangelove?
I've heard the word Doctor Strangelove, but the last part is what really threw me off.
Does this quote mean anything to you? Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Yes.
Okay, that's from that movie.
Okay, I did not. Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's kind of a riff on just, I don't want to say bureaucracy, but like basically it's like nuclear war. It's one of those things where it's like, what if incompetent people were running all of our nukes?
What if? I'm sorry. I was just kidding. That's a joke.
That's how it goes. That's about how. And there's a lot. I'm sure you've seen parodies and stuff like of a guy like with a cowboy hat riding the bomb down.
Yeah.
There's
I've seen Charlie Sheen doing that.
Yeah. There's the
Wait, was that he wasn't in that movie? That's an old movie, right?
It's an old movie.
Okay. So I'm thinking of the scene where Charlie Sheen redid
There's
it for
the
some
German
reason.
scientist who gets really goes on a really they go for this bit for a bit, but it's a really long tangent about how humanity is gonna have to go into breeding camps underground after the nuclear holocaust. It's
Is this like a satire movie?
yes,
like
it
a
is.
comedy?
It is.
Okay, that's probably
it's a complete satire of that stuff. Pretty good. If you like classic movie, if you can watch black and white films, I know some people can't. I love them. Watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna start banging through because some of these are just forgettable. I'm gonna say this wrong again, but Minari, which was it's a Korean movie, about this farm family who's trying to like keep. It's been a minute, so I can't exactly remember everything. It's got Steven Yeun. I'm so bad at these things.
Yeung.
Yes, that guy.
He's like Jung.
I don't know.
That's what I would think. I don't actually know.
But
100%.
he's the main guy in it, and he does a fantastic job. Highly recommend that one as well.
Yeah.
We talked in depth about Requiem for a Dream. I think
Yeah.
it was personally. I don't think it was on the podcast.
It wasn't. It was with me, you, Nico, and Curtis in the car.
We were talking about how there's a time and a place for a movie that's just supposed to make you feel bad. And Requiem for a Dream is definitely that. It is a movie designed to make you feel bad and not do good and not feel well. My biggest complaint with the movie, overall, the story is actually pretty good, and I think it would be I think it would be considered one of these kind of like Pulp Fiction-y, like multi-story type movies.
Yeah.
And I think it would be pretty high up there if it wasn't for the fact that there's about 30 seconds of soundtrack to this movie, and they basically play it on loop.
Yeah.
Imagine just the most screechy, out of tune, like dissonance violin.
Yeah.
And then put that on loop in your movie every time there's like a dramatic scene. And there's a dramatic scene in this movie every other scene.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just Constant.
Let's say, is it not supposed to represent like a feeling or something? Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's
Like,
supposed to give you anxiety,
like,
and you know what?
yeah.
It succeeds.
like
It
I would have to
succeeds
think
at
that has to be like a stylistic element. But yeah, if it's
That's
like
exactly
if it's
what it
so
does,
annoying or
but
so,
it just becomes grating after a while.
Yeah.
Like the feeling leaves you, and it just becomes annoying.
yeah, like it's distracting.
If
from
you
the
are in
actual
any
point.
way are a
Yeah.
super anxious person or whatever, it was hard for me to get through. I'm on the low end of a lot of that shit, but if you don't watch that movie, you have to be in a really good headspace. And then you know what? If you're in a good headspace, don't watch the movie. It's weird. It's a weird thing where it's like I recognize
Even if you are,
it was
don't.
a pretty good movie, but I cannot recommend anyone to watch it. You know,
Yeah,
it's
just
just
like you don't want anyone to have to go through the experience that you went through, and it was
I
just
just
like
don't
that's really
recommend
unpleasant.
watching it.
Yeah,
It's just not a pleasant experience.
understandable.
Went back to the classic and I watched every one of the old school Planet of the Apes films.
Oh yeah.
For an entire franchise that was based around one unused script for the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Pretty good. You know, you expected this kind of genre to drop off, like, and get worse and worse as it goes on,
Yeah.
and it does. But like, it's like the first two movies they were like, we will give you a budget, and then the next three they were like, you have no budget.
Just kidding.
You know, it was like just diminishing returns and just like, but they tell one cohesive narrative through multiple different protagonists, which is, I gotta give it.
That's
a
important.
plus. That's
Yeah.
a good plus. It gives a complete story from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Of this, you know. And as for the reboot trilogy, which I had already seen, it actually takes a lot
Yeah.
from those later movies that were kind of retconned out by those movies. Like, people don't really remember like the last three, but the reboot trilogy actually takes a lot from those movies.
Yeah.
You know, even the fact that like the main character being a monkey or an ape named Caesar, you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that. If you like Planet of the Apes, go for it. You know, if you like the reboot trilogy, if you saw those in theaters and stuff, I can at least say you would enjoy the first two. You would enjoy the first two.
Yeah.
After that, if you're really still into it.
Yeah.
This is a lot of me just talking this week, but you know what? That's what this entire thing is.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen the new Suicide Squad yet?
No. I should have already,
You need to.
and I really wanted to. Like, I wanted to see it when I was seeing trailers for it, but I just never got the chance to go, and because it was out of theaters by the time I got home.
Reefer Madness.
This is one of the public domain ones, isn't
This
it?
is a public domain movie. I watch it at least once a year. And here's the thing. If you're in a state where it's legal, get really high and watch that movie.
Yeah.
It was a Christian propaganda film produced by a church in like the 50s. That was so, and I know I've dunked on a lot of religion in this podcast. Believe whatever you want. It's fine.
Yeah.
I have mine. You have yours. We
Yeah,
do all
it's
everything.
not. I wouldn't say you're criticizing religion. You're criticizing how
Their ability to make
people-
movies.
Oh, I was just gonna say how people like twist their religions to their own ends.
Oh,
and,
that's
you know.
true. But also their ability to make movies.
Well, yeah, if you're maybe
Reefer Madness, it was a completely wholehearted, like, actual attempt to like teach people that like marijuana was like the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
But what it's become is a public domain film, because no one wanted this movie. Is
Yeah.
a public domain movie that is, it takes itself so genuinely that it becomes satire. It's so great. It's so great for that, because it is every like concern, like false concern that like, if this movie feels like it was the pitch meeting for Dare.
Yeah.
Just, you know, every just bullshit thing that Dare told you about, like, smoke weed, man, you're gonna they didn't say man, I was saying man.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you smoke weed, child, your head will explode or
Kid.
some shit, you know. You'll be a burnout. You'll do that. Yeah, it's every one of the, or you'll accidentally, your buddy will shoot this woman, and then you will get pinned for it because you don't remember anything because you were on drugs. That's in the movie.
I was just gonna say maybe you steal from your little sister's piggy bank and get chased by the cops and meet all the Muppets and Looney Tunes and stuff like that and Ninja Turtles.
It took me a minute to realize what you were saying, and that, or
Magical
or
smoke
or
monster.
you're just gonna be sitting in a diner, and Mr. T is gonna come and beat you up.
Or you go to hell before you die. What? Something bad's gonna happen. You smoke weed, I swear.
Anyone who did not grow up with those fucking campaigns has no idea what we're
I don't even
talking
think
about.
we were alive when the Mario one came out. I just love watching. I
But
watched it
but the problem
years
is,
after.
the problem is that we live in the South,
Yeah,
and the South is about 10 years behind on everything
yeah.
when it comes to technology and just everything. So.
Yeah.
Take that into consideration when you criticize the lower states. It takes some time. We're behind. We're like the Dark Ages,
Yeah.
you know. But those campaigns were still on TV. You remember RAT?
RATT.
T was it like against tobacco? Something against tobacco.
Yeah, I can't remember. I just remember like the rat's like high voice, like when he pops in the little circle.
Yeah, and apparently that dude, I don't know how true this is, but I really hope it's true. Apparently the dude who did the voice of that rat smoked like a pack a day. Hold on. Was it RATT?
He's round and round.
No, that's a band.
But love will find a way, just give it time.
Rat campaign.
Round and round.
Whoa.
Oh, wait, that might be against the rules.
What?
Singing,
I mean, it's fine. I can't find it though. But there were
was
so
Rat.
many of
You
those
got it.
campaigns and stuff. There were so many of those campaigns that,
Wait, you
and
can't
Reefer
find it?
Madness is the pinnacle of all of that. All I found, it might not be RATT because that's a band.
I'm looking. Hold on a second, I'm about to find it.
Okay, reject all tobacco.
Was really?
That was it.
Rat prostate. I said PSA,
No,
not prostate.
I don't want to know. That's in your Google's history now.
PSA rats is the first
It was reject all tobacco,
YouTube
right?
video. No, I can't find a. I'm just gonna look up reject
all
tobacco.
My memory unlocked. That was it.
Reject all tobacco rat. Yep, go rat. It was go rat, which was the actual name of
Go
the campaign.
rat. Go reject.
Oh no, it
all
wasn't called go rat. This was it. It's just rat.
rat. Yep, there it is.
Rat.
Rat.
Reject all tobacco.
Moving forward. Boop a doop boop boo.
Oh my God, rat is apparently recent because they did a wear your mask thing.
Oh, cool. So they're still around.
Didn't know that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, of all the campaigns from back then,
I would say that's
that
still
I would
valid.
want to stay around. Yeah, the one that was tobacco based.
I don't think it worked because I don't necessarily remember any of their commercials or anything. I just know that I don't smoke tobacco.
That's a good point. There you go.
I vape. Is that
That's a good
are they
question.
against that?
Reject all vape.
Rav 4.
Do. Labyrinth. David Bowie.
Good movie.
Yeah, you know how much I love the Henson
I
Company.
think I saw that last year.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
2020.
If you like puppets, down your speed.
Actually, yeah, I definitely saw it last year.
Goodfellas, super long. I got on a weird kick of vampire movies
Yeah.
for a bit. So it was like Blade, Dracula. Maybe it was just on a horror kick. Yeah, because it was October. So basically, like Curse of Frankenstein, all the Friday the 13th, Cloverfield, Evil Dead 2, Shang-Chi. Did I skip a chunk when I was reading everything? I don't know.
I don't know, because
Do you remember me saying these things?
I remember you saying the Friday the 13th and...
Army of the Dead, Requiem for a Dream. Maybe I missed that. I don't know.
I remember you saying
Suicide.
Requiem for a Dream, though, because I remember us talking about it.
Suicide Squad. Boo. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
I know you didn't skip that. But
That was...
I never saw that one, so I don't...
You know, I would say
an
that was
opinion.
my favorite Marvel movie of Phase 4, but I think you heard the list. I haven't seen Black Widow or Eternals yet. I need to.
Yeah. Favorite
but-
that you've seen so far, though?
No, because Spider-Man's
Yeah,
out.
I was about to say, really? Like, that's your favorite?
I would put it above the shows, if I'm being honest. And I like the shows.
Even WandaVision?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll have to watch it. 'cause I
Those
didn't
both,
watch it.
WandaVision and Shang-Chi, both fill a certain void for me. But
Okay.
they're both really good. Both really good. We, and you can talk a bit more with me with this, though. we watched all the Friday the 13th in
Yeah.
the month of October.
Yeah.
We did not watch. We stopped at 8, and they've been coming out on Catch Movie Commentary.
8 is a lot of movies.
We will finish that franchise. There's 4 more movies that we got to get through.
Yeah.
We will finish. Not at this time. We're gonna take a break from those, and we'll come back and we'll finish those up. And
Yeah.
Whatnot. However, of those movies, here's my problem. Can you we watched them in about 2 or 3 days?
Yeah.
Can you just differentiate between any of those movies? Because I know I was talking about it with Mickey, and I completely all of them were one movie in my head.
Okay. So
Okay.
first movie is the easiest to distinguish because
Yeah.
it's the only one with a different villain.
Yeah. First movie is Pamela Voorhees. It's not Jason.
After that, you can. If I was to go in order and describe each one, I think I could do it, but I couldn't. You couldn't
Maybe.
say 5, and I couldn't say
2,
which is which.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. 2, he was wearing the bag over his head.
Yeah, because he didn't have the mask yet.
3 is where he gets the mask, and there's the prankster dude, and I think that's the one with
Yep.
the stoners in the van and stuff.
3
Who
is
look
the
like
prankster
me.
dude. 3 is also the one where they go out to the bar, right? They go out because the girl and her boyfriend come back. That's when the
No,
dog.
that's 2. That's 2. Because she's the one where they jump out. Where he jumps out then. So that's
yeah,
2.
because they come back from the bar and then she finds. Okay, so then 3 is where he finds. Yeah, the prankster dude with the fuzzy
Yeah.
hair, lonely,
And he's got puts on the mask. It's also one with the biker gang.
and the wheelchair guy.
No, wheelchair guys 2.
What?
Yeah.
So wait, 2 was a camp. Was the counselor camp?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the counselors that came in before the kids came in.
We only had one movie with actual kids in a summer camp, right?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
I think it was I don't know. I'm telling you, we're reconstructing them as we speak.
Then there was the one with the orphans, because the
Okay.
one orphan pops up and kills the other one with an
I think
axe.
that's either 5 or 6, where that's not Jason.
It's the kid's dad.
It's the kid's dad who's copycatting Jason. We go further than that. I don't know what is 7 the one with the telekinetic woman who can move shit with, or who can
Who has her
who's got
her
Dr.
therapist.
Manhattan powers,
Her therapist is
gaslighting her.
brought her. Yeah, gaslighting her, and she's next door from the other people.
Yeah.
Who she goes to the
And
party
then
with.
8 is Manhattan.
Yeah, and then 8 is when they're on the boat for the most of the
and then they
movie.
go to
They're in
yeah.
Manhattan for 20 minutes.
I don't know how they got on a boat in the Crystal Lake to the ocean outside Manhattan.
What Camp Crystal Lake is.
It's
in
New
what
Jersey.
state? Oh yeah, they'll find a
But
way.
is
I
it
don't know
a
how long the boat
saltwater
trip was.
lake?
It has to run out to the ocean somewhere. I don't know.
No.
I assumed it. I assumed they go up the river out to the ocean.
Was there one that you liked the most? For me, it was probably
3 had some pretty cool kills.
I think 2 or 3.
I'm gonna say 3 because it was the 3D one with the.
Oh, 3D. Yeah, 3D.
Because you remember that because that's where he gets the mask. That's where he shoots the harpoon in the first scene where he has the mask.
Dude, I went back and edited that stuff. I was trying to figure out if it was gonna be good enough for a highlight.
Yeah.
There's just so many scenes of just a yo-yo getting gone through the camera.
Yeah.
I wish we watched it in the 3D. If I'm being
Because
honest.
there's a lot more 3D scenes than we even noticed. Yeah.
But Night of the Living Dead, another classic.
Yeah.
And then Vivo, watched that with some friends. That was that's that Lin-Manuel Miranda movie where he plays.
Vivo?
Yeah, he plays like a kind of like a. I guess it's a monkey. I'm not sure, but here's how I'll describe it.
Does he play the instrument?
Here's what it is, Jake.
No, that's something else. So that's like Yubi or.
You saw
shit.
Sing, right?
Yeah.
It's that movie. It's just that movie.
It's called Vivo.
Yes. If it is Sing, but with like a I can't remember the nationality that was right now, and I'm not gonna say anything because I'll get it wrong.
Yeah.
But just a different culture, and then the same plot as Sing. That's what that movie is. And there's absolutely no reason that Lin-Manuel Miranda needs to be in that movie.
Yeah.
but he is because the monkey says like 10 lines.
Wait, the monkey's not the main character?
No.
Oh. Is
Well,
the monkey,
he is.
Is the monkey
He
Vivo?
is, but like it's like him and this girl, and like really, he does not need to talk. There is no reason. They get everything across perfectly fine
Yeah.
without him if you cut all of his dialogue out. But, and this is the thing that irks me, that doesn't get his name on the poster that everyone has to go see now.
Yeah.
You know, which I just hate that. I hate putting high profile actors in things where they just don't need them at all.
Yeah.
I feel like it actually detracts a lot from the movies having him talk.
It was the same thing that happened with everyone was complaining about the Eternals because Harry Styles was in it, and they were like, "Oh, Harry Styles is taking away from this great cast," and I was like, "I mean, yeah, but
I don't know.
I don't even freaking care. I don't freaking care anymore."
After that,
I don't know
I
anything about the
began
Eternals.
watching the Lone Wolf and Cub movies. There's 6 of them. I've seen 2 so far. They're based on a manga series. They're like a samurai films from the 60s. And like 3 of them came out in a year. It might have been the 70s.
They came out in the 60s, or they were inspired by something from the 60s.
I think they came out like early 70s.
Okay.
But when it comes to samurai movies, they're all right. They're fine. They got the standoffs. They got. It's weird watching those old movies where it's like what they get away with certain things, especially with like. There's some straight up not cool stuff in the movies.
Yeah.
But as in terms of just like it's a samurai or a ronin and his kid, and they're performing tasks and assassinations and all this, perfectly suitable.
Yeah.
In one night, I watched Lone Wolf and Cub: Sword of Vengeance, which was the first one, Men in Black 3, and Star Trek 2009.
Yeah.
Star Trek 2009, it was weird, man, because I hadn't seen it yet.
With Spock, with Leonard Nimoy's Spock. And...
So like it's a completely new cast and like a pseudo reboot of the Star Trek franchise, but then actual Leonard Nimoy Spock comes in at the end, like towards the end of the movie, not really for anything super important. He just appears.
Yeah,
and
he's just there to explain that this is.
And it's like, oh, Kirk, yeah, you're gonna be a captain, dude. Like, yeah. It's like, what? Your dad's dead? That's not my world. Because it was like some parallel dimension shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess it kind of kicked off the now very popular multiverse trend that's going around in movies and TVs and stuff.
Yeah. Which I didn't think that they were the one who started that, but
my biggest complaint with that movie.
Yeah.
Is that there are lens flares every 35 seconds.
Yeah.
They're just everywhere for the entire movie.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah.
It's like it was actually giving me a headache.
I can think of that because that's like their stylistic. Like even when you're on the ship, it's not even just when you're outside.
Well, it's
like,
Abrams.
Yeah.
So, or it's
like,
it's either Abrams or it's the guy I always get him confused with.
Yeah. I was gonna remember his. Damn it! Every time.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Why can't we just remember these 2 names so if this ever happens again that we'll know?
It's one of the 3 names. We can't remember.
I don't even think we've done this on the podcast before, so
No,
nobody understands the frustration.
No one understands this frustration, which is, for some reason, I get J.J. Abrams confused with...
The guy who directed Avatar, right?
I thought he was the guy that directed Avatar. Is he not?
No.
Okay. Did he do Star Wars?
Yes.
Okay, so he did Star Wars and Star Trek?
Maybe.
There's another thing that goes wrong here, kind of pseudo with this, where we can't remember the name of Matthew Broderick. I just got it.
Okay.
But we keep forgetting his name.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he doesn't come up much in conversation. It's just the fact that we can't remember his name.
Yeah.
So
this guy's name?
J.J. Abrams
and
J.K. Simmons. No.
No, it's not J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons is J. Jonah Jameson.
No, it's one J.
Yeah, he is one J.
James Cameron.
James Cameron.
Thank you for everyone who was yelling at the
I'm
screens.
going to internalize that.
James Cameron and J.J. Abrams. I don't know why I get those 2 confused daily.
It's like JC, like Jesus Christ, and then JJA.
We're almost to the end of the movies I've watched. Critters, great. Natural Born Killers. I was not prepared for that movie. I thought this was just like a pseudo what?
Good or bad?
Oh, it was good, but
Okay.
it was batshit insane from beginning to end,
Hell yeah.
like in nonstop. And then I looked at it afterwards. It was like I think the movie was written by Tarantino, and I was like, oh, now okay, makes sense now.
Not directed, but written by Tarantino.
Written, I think. And then right after that, I followed it up with the Rugrats movie to tie this back to Judaism.
It's come full circle.
It's come full circle. The Unforgivable is that Sandra Bullock movie. It made me realize something. I don't think I like Sandra Bullock.
Like, anything you've seen her in? Yeah.
Her acting. I don't think I like it. I didn't like her in Bird Box. I didn't like her in Gravity.
Blindside?
You know.
Am I thinking of somebody else? That's Sandra Bullock, right?
That's not Sandra Bullock. Is it?
I fucked it up. No. I'm look it
Is
up.
that Sandra Bullock?
No, wait, don't ask me. Hold on a second. I don't know.
And like I like Gravity, I just don't like her in it. The only scene that really like strikes me in that movie is when she's spinning out in space.
It is Sandra Bullock.
It is Sandra Bullock. Okay, then you can add that to another list of things that I didn't like.
And Tim McGraw is her husband. You don't like The Blind Side?
I like The Blind Side. That's fine. I don't like her in it.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's like this is a weird trend where I don't like Sandra Bullock's acting.
I don't know. I've never noticed anything wrong with it.
I recognize that she's a good actor. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I can't put it on. This was a recent discovery when I watched that movie because I was just like, man, it's just. I feel like it's not less of her acting capability. I feel like she just keeps getting put in roles that are completely wrong for her.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like she like
what do you think that she'd fit better into? Like what role?
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to put a finger
You know,
on that.
like I feel, but she was put in this like this movie, The Unforgivable. It's like she's supposed to be playing like a hardcore like crime, like or someone who's been in jail for like 20 years.
Like, do you think that it's just her type they've messed up? Like,
I think they've just typecasted her wrong.
Yeah.
I feel I feel like I should, because I always see her in like a much tougher role or something like that, and like stuff like Gravity. Like Gravity, I feel like there should have been a lot more like super like emotive like panic, and I really only remember it at like one point in the movie.
Yeah.
You know, and even then, it's like I feel like it should have gone so much further. I don't know what. I'm trying to think of what she would have been good with. I'm gonna be real. I think Blindside might be the thing I liked her best in.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it was like she was allowed to be. It felt the most real. If I'm being like the most real, like a character, like she plays the mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like a mom who's maybe she would be better in like angrier roles, like a John Goodman or something.
Yeah.
Like if like put her in something like where she could really like let like anger fly or something.
Yeah.
And she.
You think she's too muted, maybe? Like, because the most she shows a lot of. I haven't seen.
She has a range.
I've seen the Bird Box.
Seen
and
it.
I've
She
seen,
has a range.
Blindside. I've never seen Gravity, but maybe she just doesn't. I don't know.
This is something I'm gonna have to think about. I'm gonna have to think about this.
We're gonna have to watch some of her clips, and you like point out to me what you see.
If I had it in front of me, I probably could tell you. But from what I've seen, I feel like I know she has a wide range, but I feel like she's directed to not use it. You know, I feel like she's muted and so, but it's not her. It feels like it's either she's being instructed to go out on scenes where she shouldn't.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Blindside might be the best, because like she's just loud and it does like her whole thing that entire movie, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she would just be better in like angrier roles.
Yeah.
You know,
she does, like I said, she has a lot of passion in that movie. And she has a lot of, I mean, actually in Bird Box not as much.
She's pretty subdued in there.
Because she's probably the most subdued character because she's the one who survives, and all the crazy ones are the ones that fucking die.
Yeah, but like I'm also, and I know this is something Hollywood hates, But I really like it when characters on screen just have a complete fucking breakdown because of the scenario they're in.
Yeah.
You know, where like now someone's gonna stitch this together with the last podcast where I said that Tom Holland in Homecoming was fucking whiny.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I was talking about. Was like when someone is just like so like traumatized or messed up by the situation, they have to really. If you're a normal person and you're put into any movie situation, you're gonna lose your mind.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the kind of stuff I really do love. I do like that stuff when but it has to feel very real for that to happen. The emotion has really got to be there. And it's different for every movie and every situation of like how they would feel. But on the vice versa of that, whenever you see a character who is in like some heavy shit and it's just another Tuesday, that's cool and completely different because now it really heightens the fact of like I was gonna use Goodfellas for an example, but even in Goodfellas he gets pretty freaked out sometimes when it's like, oh wow, now we have to we're doing it, we're burying this body, but we still it's still messed up that we have to do it. I don't know what if there are other Sandra Bullock movies that I'm just not thinking of. Please let me know. I'll watch them and we'll come back to this.
Sandra Bullock fans, come here.
We've all seen Forrest Gump. It's good movies. Baby Driver, Spinal Tap. Like we've been through all these movies. The Rugrats movie is weird to me because he straight up tries to kill his brother. Kind of like
leave him in the woods.
Yeah, there's. That's it. When he's in the woods,
goodbye,
and
Dill.
They're in the woods. He's just like smearing this. They're smearing baby food all over him.
Yeah,
it's just like
he's gonna get eaten.
You know, as a kid, I was like, "This is weird." As an adult, I'm like, "What the fuck is happening?" They're shooting us like it's Julius Caesar, and he's getting stabbed in the back.
I mean, because like
there's lightning crashing.
Yeah,
and there's the Reptar robot, which is like shining like a weird like a dragon like or like evil face shine through its light and all this across all. It went way harder than it needed to for this movie.
Hey, they knew how to do it though. Nickelodeon, that was one thing that Nickelodeon did with their movies versus their shows, was like their shows are pretty low stakes, like, you know, they have some fun. But every time they did a movie, it seemed like every time they did a movie with one of their shows, it seemed like they're just taking it to the next level. I was like, hell yeah, Nickelodeon.
They really did. Oh, and it's animated fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, I forget the studio that did Rugrats and a bunch of other Nickelodeon shows, but their whole thing was based around making things a little bit ugly. You know, where like that was their design. It was purposefully supposed to be kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know, and it gave it a real identity to a lot of those 90s Nickelodeon shows.
Yeah.
You know, as for
Danny Phantom,
what I would have to say is my favorite movie of the year. Before we move to TV real quick, and that will be much shorter. The best movie, I think, out of this list. I didn't even talk about Tenet. Tenet was all right.
Yeah. We've talked
it's
about
weird.
Tenet plenty.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can pick one. There are so many. Black Dynamite. It might.
High School Musical 3 for
It
the
would
win.
either be the first one, Howl's Moving Castle. As I say, I'm talking just about like the best movies that I'm watching here.
Yeah.
The Terminator. Or The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
I think all of those movies were just solid one. Labyrinth I would also put on that list of just some of the best from this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. There's no one that I think sticks out the most that I'm like, I will rewatch this and rewatch this. There was none of that. But as for TV shows, we already went through all of what was on there, but the ones, because I don't know how, we've probably been going for a while. But
1 hour and 34 minutes.
Okay, but Queen's Gambit was really good. I
Yeah.
highly recommend that. But without a doubt, the best show I watched this year was She-Ra, Princess of Power.
Yeah.
If you have not seen She-Ra, go watch it.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. Even if you're not like a fan of the old of the He-Man franchise, this is very much not that, and it's very different. But you know what? It has got multiple of the best villains I have seen since Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
You know, Catra is straight up one of the, I won't even say villain, one of the best antagonists I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And Hordak and all of that. It's fantastic. It's also beautifully animated. But the worst part about the show is its intro. I still don't like the intro.
Yeah.
But I think everything in it is great, and it really had me hooked.
Yeah.
In terms of like animation stuff this year, and I watched a fair amount of really good animation stuff. Owl House, freaking Owl House got canceled
Yeah.
because of Disney's regular old bullshit
Yeah.
that they've done.
Did the same thing to Gravity Falls.
Well,
Gravity Falls at least got a chance to end on a.
Well,
on
the
a,
thing wasn't that Gravity
actual
Falls
finale.
got canceled. Owl House straight up got canceled because of Disney's homophobia.
Yeah.
Flat out. Like, I know I've talked a lot of shit about Disney because of their copyright stuff that they do.
Yeah.
I know that's the thing that but Disney has a lot of other problems. I've been calling them out for a while.
Yeah.
In
Well,
hopes that maybe
yeah.
someday I'll get a job.
Well, Owl House was very, very, like, open with the Amity other character relationship.
I don't know what you're talking.
Purple hair. And
Oh, yeah! Don't
brown
ask me
hair.
for names. Don't
Okay,
ask me.
yeah,
for
I was about to
names.
say character names that I thought you would know.
No, don't ask me for names.
Well, with the relationship between the two characters.
There's two characters I can name in that show. It's Edith and King. That's it.
And
But that show,
Hoot. Dang, I can't
The
remember
House.
that. I haven't watched enough of this show. I just know.
Owl
I
House
know
was like so
the main
tailor
point.
made for me. I think,
Yeah.
like as an audience member, because I was like, it's witches and wizards and magic and shit, and like all stuff. I fucking love that stuff, and it
Yeah.
gets canceled because of the. I think that was also part of it. I think Disney's trying to uphold like a much more like. I'm not gonna say conservative, like hot, like not because I think it's partially is like the LGBT stuff and also the like witchery and stuff like that. I guarantee you they just got some letters, and then some ass higher up on that chain was like canceled. Because guess what? Another show I started watching this year, Amphibia, fantastic, still going, still great. It's fantastic. Watch them
Yeah.
both. Watch them both. They're made by the same people. Watch them both.
I've watched a lot more of Amphibia.
If
than I
enough
have,
people
and
make a stink
I
about
like both the shows, but I've seen a lot of Amphibia.
enough-
so.
people make enough stink about frickin' Owl House, maybe it will get to finish. Maybe. I doubt it.
I just wish that. See,
the
the sad thing is that when networks like this drop shows, they don't let anyone else pick it up. Like they're like,
Yeah.
we don't want this anymore, but no one else is allowed to have it.
Yeah,
either.
it's not there's no longer the Futurama thing.
So yeah, they're not saying like, you know what, like yeah, they're not gonna be like, okay, you can have this because we don't want to deal with it anymore.
No, they're gonna
Disney
hold
is
on
very
to it.
famous for being like, oh yeah, it's finished, but the creators' hands aren't on this anymore. Like it's our property,
Yeah, it's ours.
and nobody else can have it. Like they're just
I know
it's just
listen,
bullshit.
my whole thing is like my degrees and stuff. Like I'm working towards animation. That does not mean I am not gonna continue to call out Disney on everything that they do.
Yeah. Nobody should be kissing any
corporation's
ass for work.
ass. Any of them, because
If
they're
you
not.
know someone's doing something wrong, then call them out.
Oh,
for it. Fuck it.
well, if you want to be fair for a minute, is the fact that Catch a Movie, we can't make a cent off of any of the highlight reels for that show because Warner Brothers is the worst. As much as you think Disney would be bad about copyright claims, Warner Brothers is the worst.
Which is sad because they own my favorite properties.
They do. They own DC, you know. But like Disney's annoyed me a lot lately, you know. And in a couple years, freaking Mickey Mouse is supposed to enter the public domain for like the 5th time.
Yeah.
And you know what's going to happen? He's not gonna. And they're going to continue to lobby and rewrite our laws to improve their own net worth.
Yeah.
And then as much as I said how much I hate hypocrisy, the one thing I hate more is greed.
Yeah.
So, and when it comes to stuff like that, and the fact that this is just and people were watching the show, like it wasn't even a ratings thing.
Yeah.
Like Owl House was a good show, and it sucks because like we're at a point right now where, hey Disney, I don't, as much as trash I was just talking, you're as much trash as I was just talking. You're kind of the go-to source for really good animation right now.
Yeah.
Like Nickelodeon's doing fine. I'm not huge on a lot of modern Cartoon Network right now.
Yeah.
And like in terms, and this has always happened. It's always juggled between those three of like who was making the best cartoons at any time. Like when we were kids, when we were very young, it was Nickelodeon. Then Cartoon Network came about, and like from early 2000s to basically I think right before like C and Real and stuff.
The bad thing is that the worst part is that when we were kids, like we lived through eras where the three of them were all on top.
All on top.
So we have like
at different
like
times.
good places in our hearts. But I mean, you have times where they're coming out with stuff like with like Kim Possible, and where they were coming out with stuff like that we can still go back to. I mean, a lot of those were live
Gargoyles.
action. Yeah, you're right. But that was like 90s. Like Gargoyles was 90s.
Yeah.
Kim Possible was early 2000s. Then Nickelodeon had the two separate eras, the early 2000s or like the late 90s, like the funnier cartoons. And they got early 2000s. We got stuff like Danny Phantom, Jimmy Neutron, Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah.
So we go over stuff like that. And then late 2000s, that's when we got this era of Cartoon Network that really defined my childhood, which was Adventure Time, regular show.
Adventure Time, regular show. I think that started with Teen Titans and Ben 10. And then after that, it went straight to, that's when we eventually got Adventure Time, regular show. Freaking shows I watched this year as well, you know, just because, not because it's something I haven't seen before, because it was a show, they were shows that like I remember I watch all the time, you know. And looking at this, there's so many great animated things on my list, you know, like freaking Amazing World of Gumball, dude. Like that was awesome. That was an awesome show. And I started rewatching.
It was crazy too.
I know. That's what the parts I was watching. It's like, wow, I stopped at some point as a kid.
Yeah.
Or as a kid, I would have been like my teenager.
Yeah, I'm not gonna act like I wasn't watching animation when I was still in high school.
Yeah, I was watching animation this year, dude.
Like, screw you guys. I don't care.
Like, who gives? We've gone on for so long. I'm never doing this list again because it was a nightmare to keep a track of. Yeah. But I'm glad that I have done this to be able to document like just my viewing habits, which is really cool, and see like really get into like what are my tastes? What do I like?
Yeah.
You know, and I've realized it's like, oh, I just like everything.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no one genre. There was a friend of ours who was recommending me some show on Amazon Prime, and she thought I wouldn't like it because it was like a I'm gonna put this in quotes, but it's like how Hollywood sees it, like a girl-centric like comedy type thing.
Yeah.
Wait, I can't remember.
Yeah.
that's the other problem. I cannot remember. I wrote it down.
What you say, was it a TV show or?
It was something on Amazon Prime.
Maybe Marvelous Mrs. Maisel?
Maybe, I don't know. But my thing was like, listen, I don't give a shit about that. If you're telling the best story, if you're telling the best story possible, and you're doing something that's gonna genuinely make me emote or just be interested in a story, because at the end of the day, that is what I care about. I care about the story. You know,
I had to argue with someone about New Girl yesterday because they were like saying like, my mom watches New Girl. I know New Girl's bad, and I was like. Or they were saying you like, oh, this, and I was like, first of all, it's not a girl show, like cause they said a bunch of shit beforehand.
This happened
it's like
in
the majority of the character are guys in that show. First of all, second of all, it may be made, I don't know, for essentially women, but it's not. That's not a thing.
Separating like what shows you're allowed to watch by like genders, dude. Like when I was a kid, I was like, I would sneak to watch Powerpuff Girls. You know, like I would have to make sure no one else was around because I felt bad because I was marketed to the fact that like. This wasn't a show that I was supposed to me. Fast forward today, I watched Powerpuff Girls this year again, and I watched fucking She-Ra.
We sing the song together. Like we're clearly not scared of.
We don't give. Oh, if you go back in that Extra Life VOD, and that at the very end when I have like dramatic music playing, I'm thanking everybody. What you don't see is that B-roll where it's just the car driving.
Yeah.
you just hear if you cut the music out and put the original audio back, it would be me and Jake singing the Powerpuff Girls theme song.
Fighting crime, trying to save the world. Here they come just in time. The Powerpuff Girls. I honestly didn't know that I knew that song
Until I played it.
Yeah, we started singing. I was like, I know every lyric to this.
And it gets back to what everything I've always complained about, which is like you gotta let artists do their thing, dude. Like let him make a good show.
Yeah.
You know, like then when it comes to Owl House, it was like they made a good show. They made a good, profitable show for you. They made multiple because they also made Amphibia.
You know what's really really funny about that? Like because the Disney has a big slate of shows now that I don't even know what half of them are. Like
no, but there's a handful that stick out.
That's the thing, is that when you see fan content online, the biggest, and honestly, my little brother watches Amphibia, which is why I've seen a lot of that. Yeah. Amphibia has some fan content, but the show with the most fan content, fans raving, fan edits,
TikTok.
It's all over TikTok, is the Owl House. Owl House has the most fans online raving about the show, talking about it, making theories, Disney is actually crippling themselves right now if you really want to look at it that way, because they're
hurting
cutting
themselves.
off a huge part of their fan base.
You can't cripple these. So you can't cripple these mountains, but
they're not crippling themselves, but they're just doing themselves a disservice and doing their fans a disservice. So it's kind of ridiculous.
Stupid.
I just wish that they'd have
similar thing happen with I would have to get Curtis in here to talk about it more, but OKKO.
Yeah.
That they had a whole thing that happened with, I think with mergers and stuff, and then the show just ended.
I honestly didn't.
And you
even
know
know
what they did, and it kind of
canceled
stupid.
or ended. Yeah.
The last episode of OKKO is like it does like a flash forward type future type thing.
Yeah.
And it shows basically everything that could have happened for like the next 10 seasons.
Oh, that's mean.
I know. That's because they had it ready. They were writing this.
Yeah.
They were. I'm just, as much as movies and stuff are important to me, do not forget that there are giant corporations behind them that are doing everything they can to not treat them as art and to treat them as a business. So if you want to continue to uphold the sanctity of artists, make what you want to make, and don't fucking go buy any of this bullshit.
I have to say though that I know you said Warner Brothers was the worst, but for specifically what I was complaining about, where they won't hand off their properties
for us, getting content strikes and stuff.
But for companies who won't hand off their properties or make their properties in something new, Disney easily could have just taken Owl House and made it produced it on another platform, put it on Disney Plus, made it more adult.
Put it on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
And guess what? You got a horde of 20-year-olds that would freaking buy Disney Plus for you.
That's what I'm saying. So if they did that, that'd be super easy. But
Disney's
the worst company for not doing that, because you see Cartoon Network, they took Adventure Time to HBO Max and played up more Princess Bubblegum, Marceline's thing, so they weren't afraid to do that. You see Nickelodeon taking iCarly and bringing it up a level, making it into a complete adult show.
Disney is strangely the most old hat of all the production companies. But they continue to only adhere. The reason Warner Brothers gives us the most trouble with content strikes is because they're the most that's involved with the online ecosphere. They own stuff like Rooster Teeth and all those, so they understand how the internet works.
I just don't understand how Disney is still. I mean, I do understand because I know how many properties they've bought, but they're still the most successful, and they won't take on these new ideas.
They are set in their ways.
It's just
They are the boomer company. They're the boomer company.
Yeah.
They succeeded so long ago, and now they're like, well, why aren't you?
Let me think of a pun for this. Pun. Disney are...
The window of joke is closing.
Mickey Mouse, more like... Fuck. House of Mouse, more like retirement home of Mouse. There it goes. That's all I could think of. I'm so sorry. Tried.
I don't know. I'm very that we've gotten so far off from what movies I watched this year, but I'm okay with the amount I watched. I think I probably could have watched a little bit more if I wasn't, super busy. If I didn't have outside things preventing me from doing this.
Yeah.
And guess what? I get to roll back in classes in a few weeks.
I'm gonna
Yay.
I'm gonna try to do not the same thing, especially not the span of like. I'm gonna try to do that for books this year, this upcoming year, where I read a lot of books. I don't think I'm gonna keep a
I
list
didn't
like
keep
you did
track of how
because
many
that
books
seems
and
stressful.
stuff I read.
But I at least want to beef up my reading because I didn't really get to do that a lot this year.
That's
and I've
good
got a
thing.
lot
Do
of
you have
books.
any New Year's resolutions?
Honestly, I just want this year to be sort of like a renewal or a rebirth for us as creators and for myself as a person. Like I want to be able to step into this period of growth that I think that we formatted ourselves to grow, and we just need to do that now. Like we built this partnership, we built this production company, and we were now
live
roommates.
in the studio now.
So we're literally formatted so we can grow. We just need to do it. Like so, that's my New Year's resolution is just to grow.
Yeah,
I think
it's
can.
legitimately just do as much as we can.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you being
physically
in
grow.
studio now with me is such a huge. What's the opposite of burden? Like a huge plus. I
was gonna
guess.
say help or like a huge advantage.
Encouragement.
Or
it's a huge encouragement.
huge motivation.
Motivation for like making stuff regularly now. You know, and I doing this show on my own was kind of a challenge this year. You know, because I was like, I definitely put out way less stuff than I expected to.
Yeah.
Granted, I didn't expect life to punch me in the face, but like,
yeah.
And of course, I don't know, but I think just having you here is going to be a huge help.
I agree. I think that we can kind of
and if you
be like, we can contribute to each other's growth in a really productive way. So I think that it's gonna be good to have each other in close proximity.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to watch us watch a bunch of those movies that I listed, or a bunch of new movies every week, you can find. You can find Catch a Movie.
I didn't
commentary.
know if we were gonna say it at the same time.
We can find Catch a
Movie commentary
on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Same as Long Hair Don't Care. Also available on all your favorite podcasting platforms.
I wanted to say it at the same time. I just ended up echoing you for everything you
did.
said.
Oh, well, time to wrap this up.
I'm really freaking hungry.
I am too.
Hungry.
I want to know how many of my like stomach growls have like.
I couldn't stop thinking about food for a lot of that. So
sing us off.
It's 4:30 on a Wednesday. The host shuffles away. There's a big shell sitting next to me.